as she runs down the street bleeding. Like, that's domestic violence. A woman slapping a man a few times. That's just like a woman slapping a man a few times. As a parent smacking their kid for doing something naughty, like, is that child abuse? Because if your answer is yes, ultimately, we're gonna fundamentally disagree. If women weren't required for reproduction, they wouldn't exist because we would have killed them off by now.
As a streamer, you're going to spend hours every single day talking nonstop, and it's just bound to happen that you're going to say something stupid. However, I think I've found one of the dumbest, if not the dumbest guy I've ever seen on the platform. Like, no matter the subject matter, he just has the worst take every single time. It's like surprising. Like, you think you could at least flip a coin and at least be right half the time. But he's just a gamer who's trying to adapt to the React meta and is failing miserably. Like, it seems like the subject matter he has the hardest time with is, unsurprisingly for a gamer, women. So I thought we could just see how dumb one guy could possibly be. And mind you, this is like in a month or two. Like, all of these stupid takes are in like a month or two.
This is just a bad relationship. This wasn't domestic violence, right? Unless, like, dude, domestic violence is like the war machine beating the fuck out of his girlfriend until she passes out, and then when she wakes up, beats the fuck out of her again. Like, that's domestic violence. A woman slapping a man a few times. That's just like a woman slapping a man a few times.
So I get it. Like, if you're horsing around with your girlfriend and she hits you a couple times, or like you roughhouse with her, it's not assault. But like, when you're having end of relationship fights and you start hitting each other, that's assault, whether you're a man or a woman. Just because you don't draw blood or leave a bruise doesn't mean it's not assault. I mean, it could just mean you're weak. And the weirdest thing about this clip is it contradicts his other clip, the one clip that actually got him banned. And it's the one where he said,
all right, hurry up now, because that's what you said. You said you was going to give me my money, so give me my money. Give me my money. Give me my money. Where's my money?
Oh my god, bro. And the issue with women is no one punches them in the head, right? Because they're women. So then they don't even get to learn that life lesson, which is why they turn into Karens. Okay, and this is how you end up with this thing. So I feel like in context, it's pretty obvious that I'm not some crazy misogynist that randomly starts talking about punching women in the head for no reason. I'm simply putting forward a two-header hypothesis where I'm saying that men are far more likely to be assaulted than females. So then, therefore, they get negatively conditioned to not be a Karen, basically. It's not supposed to be sexist. It's just supposed to be a meme, but also kind of true.
You know what makes the best kind of joke? The kind of jokes that you have to plaster meme on the screen so people can realize that you're just joking. And also, it's kind of true, right? I don't think he wants to punch women in the head. I just think he heard Bill Burr make a joke, and he's a streamer, so he's just bad at making jokes. He's not a comedian. They're essentially saying the same thing. Bill Burr just worded a hell of a lot better. And like, I really don't want to dissect comedy bits. Like, I think that's kind of cringe. But like, when you do edgy comedy jokes, you have to be spot on. It's just the reality of it. And I'll be honest, I didn't find that clip of Quinn, like, honestly, that offensive. I'm surprised he got banned for that. But I guess like Twitch takes a real hard stance about like quote unquote threatening violence. Like, a whole bunch of people just got banned for like threatening violence against like major companies. But like, this isn't even like close to the worst thing he said or done in the last month, in my mind.
As a parent smacking their kid for doing something naughty, like, is that child abuse? Because if your answer is yes, I'm gonna be like, well, you ultimately we're gonna fundamentally disagree. We're gonna fundamentally disagree.
He goes on to talk about how people try to change the definition of words, but like, when you look at the like definition for like assault or like child abuse, like, hitting your kid is child abuse. Now, do I think like you're the worst person in the world if you like spank your kid out of anger like one time? Everybody makes mistakes, so like, I can like forgive it if you do it like once. But like, if you're like if that's like your form of punishment to try to like shape your child, that's Quinn's biggest problem. Is he believes that negative reinforcement is how you teach someone something. And we know through all these studies that negative reinforcement doesn't work. Positive reinforcement is what makes people change. So when you talk about like women are Karens because they don't get hit, as long as that's a joke, it can be like a funny joke, right? But when you consistently say how like no, negative reinforcement is how you make people learn stuff, it starts coming off as not a joke. So since it was a joke, there's obviously not going to be more clips of him with more messed up views on like women's issues or like talking about violence towards women.
A fucking hot take, but it's not even a hot take. It's actually just completely true. If women weren't required for reproduction, they wouldn't exist because we would have killed them off by now. Let's be real. If they were not required, if we could just have sex with dudes and have kids, all women would be dead. Okay? 100%.
So even if you go by the weird, messed up, like completely 100% just survival of the fittest, like mindset, like that doesn't make sense. Like, to think that you have to think that a woman's only value to society or to like a culture is just making babies. Even being like completely like sexist, just like what guys want, like because like we're the strongest, so we could like theoretically kill anybody we don't like. Wouldn't everybody have to be gay for that to be true? Even if you could have sex with guys, would you? Like, I don't find guys attractive, so I wouldn't. So maybe Quinn is just coming out as gay. The more I watch Quinn, the more I just think he has a really warped perception of the world, and especially around like sex and women. Like at first I thought like once or twice it wasn't like something he really felt, it was just saying something stupid in the moment. But like he says it all these weird messed up things over and over again, so it's starting to just seem like he has an actual issue.
See the underbutt, that's too much, okay? Because then it's like there's some sexual drive there where you're like, I mean, that's, dude, I mean, you're just asking to get sexually assaulted by some fucking
back in the day
deranged
when I
mental
was
person.
16.
Like, I mean, I guess he said that you have to be deranged to assault someone based on what they're wearing. Because, like, we know, like, there's been no study that has shown that what you wear affects whether or not you're going to be assaulted more or less. And like, I don't even want to get into, like, because this is just a classic, like, oh, do you see what she's wearing? They're asking for it. So, like, everyone just should know by now. That's just, like, a stupid thing to say. And it's, like, completely victim blaming when nothing has ever shown they're to blame for anything in the scenarios.
Not. Obviously, like, I think it's cringed. Like, if someone
doesn't plan on getting pregnant, then, like, of course you should give them the job, right? But, like, would you promote someone to...
like, a lead game designer role who's, like, planning on getting pregnant in, like, the next, like, you know, year or something. Like, it's, like, one of those things where it's like, well, they're going to be literally taking maternity leave and they're not going to be able to perform their job, right? So
we should just never hire women because eventually you think in the prime of their life they're going to want to have a kid at some point, and that's how like society functions. So you can't really discriminate against the women for wanting to have a child and deny promotions based off of that. Like, it's just common sense. If you didn't want to give women promotions because they could get pregnant at some point or are planning to in the future, you never hire a woman because at some point they're going to have kids, right? Unless they're like child free. But before I get to the last clip, I'm going to run down what he said so far. A woman hitting a man is an assault. A man hitting a woman is assault. And that's why they're Karens. Hitting your kids is an assault because that's how you learn. But you still can't hit a woman even though they need to learn. And that's the only way to learn. If you wear short shorts, you are asking to be assaulted. And if you couldn't get pregnant, women wouldn't exist because they serve no other purpose. Even if you were 100% sexist, you would think women would survive because most men enjoy sex with women and find them attractive, but whatever. But since they can have kids, you shouldn't promote them if they want kids in the future because they're just going to take time off of work. So luckily, there is a positive side to Quinn. Like, first off, if you're ever worried about thinking the wrong thing, just figure out what Quinn thinks about any subject, doesn't matter the subject, and just do the opposite of what he thinks, because he's usually wrong about like everything. And the second thing is his chat calls him out on this. Like, usually the chat just like confirms whatever the streamer's saying, is like claps like, yeah, you're so smart, you're always right, blah, blah, blah. But like his chat is constantly in the moment telling him, no, you're an idiot, stop talking. Like, even when he's giving the Nazi salute, his chat is saying, yo, stop, that's the Nazi salute. And when he tries to say, oh no, it's just like the Chinese salute, and he goes and finds like the one time there's like a stamp that has the leader of China waving in the weird like Nazi salute, his chat says stop, even though he keeps doing the salute over and over and over again.
Don't do a Nazi salute. Wait, I was doing the China salute. Isn't that what they all do to the China salute? That's the China salute. They go like that, and it's like and it's like the China red flag, and like the Xi Jinping is at the front. They going like ni hao ma. Stop.